The little boy tugged at his father's hand, pointing toward the figure in the dirt road. She was lying there, motionless, dust clinging to her torn dress, a rough sack tied cruelly over her head. The boy's voice was filled with innocence as he asked, "Papa, why won't she move?" For a long moment the farmer stood still, staring at the broken figure before him. He had seen cruelty before, the harshness of men who used power to destroy. But something about this scene struck him to his very core. She wasn't dead. She was breathing, faintly, but her body carried the marks of hunger, neglect, and despair. In that moment he knew he couldn't walk away. Engagement prompt 1 after hook. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity to restore hope, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to The Gentle Truth. Together, we can keep these stories of courage and compassion alive. The farmer's name was Samuel, a man who lived a quiet life with his young son after the loss of his wife. His days were simple, working the fields, tending to the animals, and trying to teach his boy how to grow up honest in a world that too often chose cruelty over compassion. He wasn't a rich man, nor a powerful one, but his heart was steady, and his sense of right and wrong ran deeper than any well. As he knelt down beside the stranger, his hands trembling slightly, he untied the sack from her head. Her face beneath was pale, bruised, and streaked with tears. She flinched at his touch as if she expected another blow. That sight alone nearly broke him. He carried her home, ignoring the whispers that followed him from neighbors who saw. People judged quickly in those days. A woman abandoned, discarded, left for dead. Many assumed she had done something to deserve it. But Samuel knew better. No one deserved to be treated like less than human. He laid her gently on the bed once shared with his late wife and brought her water to sip. For days she said nothing, her voice locked behind walls of fear. She ate little, drank sparingly, and only stared at the ceiling as though afraid to believe in safety. Samuel's son, Jacob, was the first to break through. He brought her wildflowers from the meadow, placing them by her bedside. He whispered stories of the farm animals, of how he wanted to be strong like his papa, and sometimes he simply sat beside her, silent but present. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the woman began to shift. Her eyes softened. Her lips parted. One evening, she asked for more water in a voice so faint Samuel barely heard it. It was the first time she spoke, and it was enough to remind him that healing was possible. As weeks turned into months, the woman, whose name was Anna, found herself breathing a little easier. She began helping with small chores around the house, folding Jacob's clothes, washing vegetables, even mending Samuel's worn shirt sleeves with careful stitches. Though she carried scars, visible and invisible alike, Samuel never pressed her for the past. He believed her story was hers to tell when she was ready. What mattered was the present, the fact that she was alive, that she was safe, that she was beginning to rediscover her worth. But healing was not without struggle. Nights brought nightmares. Sometimes Anna would wake with a cry, trembling, clutching the sheets as if fighting unseen hands. On those nights, Samuel would sit nearby, not speaking, not intruding, simply letting her know she was not alone anymore. Jacob would sometimes crawl onto the bed beside her, his small arms wrapping around her waist, whispering, "You're safe here." Those words, simple and childlike, carried more weight than any grand promise ever could. Slowly, Anna began to smile again. It was faint at first, like sunlight breaking through clouds, but it grew stronger with each passing day. She started tending the garden, teaching Jacob how to braid ropes, and even laughing at Samuel's clumsy jokes. What once seemed like a broken life began to stitch itself together with threads of kindness, patience, and love. She realized that freedom wasn't just the absence of chains. It was the presence of people who valued her soul. The turning point came when strangers passed through town. Men who looked far too much like the kind who had once left Anna in the dirt. For a moment, fear gripped her, and she froze as though the past was about to claim her again. But then Samuel stepped forward, his hand resting protectively on her shoulder, his voice steady as he introduced her not as a stranger, but as family. In that moment, Anna felt something inside her heal completely. She was no longer discarded. She was chosen. The story of Anna's rebirth was not one of fairy tale perfection, but of quiet triumph. With the love of a little boy, the strength of a kind farmer, and her own courage to rise again, she found her life restored. She had been left to die with nothing, not even her name spoken, but she was given back her freedom, her dignity, and the chance to live with hope again. Engagement prompt 2, before ending. If this story touched your heart, reminding you that compassion has the power to restore broken souls, please like, share, and subscribe to The Gentle Truth. Your support spreads these messages of hope. Special request to comment. Tell us in the comments below. Do you believe one act of kindness can truly save a life? Your words might be the encouragement someone else desperately needs.